Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Friday morning here on KSJE, and it's time to check in on prep sports for the week and the weekend. Wally D from the one and only Wally D Sports is here. Wally, good morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming in to get me set me straight on what's going on in the world of prep sports, right?
Well, we're trying anyway.
I hope you are.
And of course, I'm sporting my green today.
You are sporting your scorpion green, so yeah. What does that mean?
Well, there's a big game tonight.
Secret promotion of the Scorpions, I guess.
Well, of course, I graduated from there. So
you bleed green.
I
know
bleed
you do.
green.
That's
I do.
True.
That's right.
So big game with who?
They're taking on Durango tonight.
Oh, that is a big game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. You know, and what's crazy is this is week number 5 of high school sports. It just seems like we just started, and we go through this every year. You know, can't wait for the season to get here, and then all of a sudden it's week 10. You know, and we're in the playoffs. But and what's crazy about this year is that it seems like every game is just like, you know, there's games you look at and go, oh, this is going to be an easy game. We're going to win this, or we're going to get blown out of this game, or whatever. You know, and I'm not just talking about Farmington. I'm talking about the whole area.
Right.
You know, Bloomfield, Aztec, Kirtland, and it just seems like every week, you know, it's like, oh, are we going to, you know, this is going to be a tough game. And it's been good football this year, and we've got some good teams. Scorpions 4-0 on the season going in tonight's game against the rivalries across the border.
Exactly. The Demons. Are they the Demons?
They're the Demons,
right? If I remember correctly. So good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're 1-2 on the season, but, you know, they play a tough schedule. Last week they got beat by Montrose, which is one of the top teams in the state of Colorado, and lost to them 14-13. You know, they went for a 2-point conversion right at the end of the game to try to win it, and they didn't convert it, so they lose. You know, you convert it, you win the game.
Sure. It's so close, right?
Yeah, and that would have been a big win for them because Montrose is just always tough. I know some of our teams used to play them. You know, Farmington and Piedra Vista used to play Montrose, and it was like a good old butt whipping.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. Okay. Well, good luck to the Scorpions. And again, now these are they're just bragging rights, really, if they win this game. Right?
Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of a bragging rights for the Four Corners. You know, I believe Durango. I'm trying to think if they played Piedra Vista. Usually they would always play Aztec and Piedra Vista and Farmington, and it'd be kind of the bragging rights for the Four Corners. Well, I don't think Durango's playing Piedra Vista or Aztec this year, so it's kind of between Farmington and Durango to decide who gets the bragging rights in the Four Corners.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great game. Talented kids on both sides of the ball. Quarterbacks, both junior quarterbacks, play great football. And I actually predict, and I may be wrong, I do this, you know, sometimes I predict that it's going to be a high-scoring game.
All right.
I really think so. But if someone's defense gets set, it could change.
Okay. Any predictions on a winner? Can I get you to do that?
Yeah, well, I predicted on our show for tonight. I did predict Durango.
Okay.
You know, I mean, my heartstrings, of course.
Right. Must have killed you to have to say that on the radio.
Yeah, it's hard, but, you know, I got to look at reality. Durango's kind of owned Farmington for quite a while. So.
Okay. Will it be close, you think?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game, and as I said, a high-scoring game.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and, you know, and I know you have rankings too.
Yeah, can we take a look?
Yeah,
let's take a look at those. Okay, for our viewers who are watching us and those of you who are on the radio, we will explain kind of what we're showing people. But we do have the coaches poll. This is the big school, so none of our schools are on this. The 6A numbers. So I'm gonna skip through that one, everybody. But the 5A and 4A. So as usual, it's look at this 1, 2, and 3. Roswell, Goddard, and Artesia. We hear those names all the time.
Right, and those actually are in the same district.
Right.
And what, you look at on down, you got Farmington, Piedra Vista, Highland, also in the same district.
Okay. Farmington at 5, PV at 6, Highland at 7.
Right.
Is where they fall in this week's coaches poll, so that could change next week.
Well, it could. Farmington, if they lost to Durango, it's really not going to change anything. Piedra Vista is taking on Belen, which we see them down in the bottom. They started out originally at number 2 in the state, and they just don't have the team. Of course, they were runner-up last year in 5A, so they get that respect to get that high seed to start the season, but they've fallen all the way down to number 12.
Interesting.
And
no, what I'm looking at too, and maybe I'm just looking too much into this, is Farmington has the same record as Roswell and Goddard at 4-0.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything. It just means who they're playing against, I guess.
Right. It's kind of the power rankings. It's a coaches poll. They give the respect to the South. There's no doubt.
Okay.
Until one of our teams beat them. Piedra Vista plays Roswell coming up here in a couple of weeks. And if Piedra Vista can upset Roswell, it could really turn the rankings upside down.
Okay, we'll see. We'll try to keep tabs on what those are. 4A, Bloomfield and Aztec right up there at number 3 and 4.
Right. Yeah, pretty exciting for them. Bloomfield takes on Hope Christian tonight. Hope Christian, the number 3 team in 3A. And, of course, Bloomfield's sitting there at 3. And this is a coach's polls. There's a couple of polls. There's also a max polls. And actually, it's kind of crazy this year because at this time, they both kind of match up pretty much the same, which you don't see that
doesn't
a
happen
lot.
very often,
It doesn't happen very often. So
to round out the 4A poll, I just want to mention Kirtland Central coming in at number 8 this week.
Yeah, Kirtland still got some work. They're a really good team, but they've just played a really tough schedule.
Okay.
So, and that's why they get the respect. I mean, you play a tough schedule, and even though you lose,
right,
you're still right there in the mix.
But they're in the top 10.
They're in the top 10, so they'll make if you stay in the top 12, you'll make the playoffs.
Right. Next page, we've got 3A and 2A, and really the only local school on the schedule would be in 2A. That's Newcomb. They're ranked at 9.
Right. Now this poll has let's see, where's it at? I was looking. Oh yeah, Hope Christian. They have them at 2. I had them at 3, and another ranking at 3. So
okay.
That's who Bloomfield plays tonight.
Gotcha.
And that should be a really good game. Really, really a good game. Good test for Bloomfield, who is 4-0 on the season.
Right.
One of their best starts in a long time.
Okay. Even though Hope Christian's in a smaller district, but they're a better or maybe a stronger team. I don't know. Right. A better team. We'll see what the game says.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, looks like a good season, a good weekend again for good football, right?
Definitely so. And of course, other games going on. You got Aztec playing tonight. They're hosting Bloomfield. Bayfield.
Bayfield, the other B town.
The other B town, and another team from north of the border.
Yes.
And usually they're always solid. They work over our teams usually, but they're not quite the same team. So I give Aztec the edge tonight in that game.
Okay.
And then, as we said, Bloomfield playing Hope Christian. I picked Bloomfield to win that game tonight. They did get beat up by them last year, but Bloomfield a different team this year.
Okay.
Definitely so.
We'll see what happens, and we'll check in with you next week.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And then also, real quick.
10 seconds.
Piedra Vista going down to Belen.
Okay.
And you can find all the games on WallyDSports.com.
There you go. And the Facebook page, too.
And Facebook page, too.
All right. Wally D from Wally D Sports. Thanks so much. This is KSJE Farmington. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.